In this moment, my life changed. Helldivers 2 is a live service game I've played since launch, that I currently play and I'll continue to play. Right now the community is very divided. Day after day there's negative videos being uploaded. I understand both sides, but I want to remind everyone what made Helldivers such a cultural phenomenon to begin with. Cue up the intro, let's dive in. There's so many live service games with the likes of Marathon, Fortnite, Battlefield 6, Apex Legends, and so on and so on. With all these live service games, they feel kind of samey and hollow on the inside, with one goal, getting your sweet hard-earned cash. But worst of all, how these games do not respect players' times. As a father and a professional, I do not have the time to play games as a full-time job to make sure I don't miss out on the season, the daily, or the weekly login bonus. Helldivers 2 has entered the chat. This game flipped the live service model on its head. Here's where I think some of the YouTubers, as I mentioned earlier, lost the plot to what Helldivers 2 represented. HD2 provided an experience to players we could not find anywhere else when it launched, and I'll even argue that stands now. Let's turn back the hands of time to when the game launched. Helldivers caught wind by word of mouth. The narrative was, yo bro, this gameplay is like cinematics in other games. Oh wow, we can earn in-game currency super credits to purchase war bonds? Let's support the devs anyways. They're live service, but their monetization practices are not predatory. That was a lot I just said there. Let's dissect it for a bit. Let's get started with gameplay. I want to be clear. Helldivers is not a perfect game by any means. I can go on for days about bugs, performance, matchmaking, audio bugs, the list goes on. But the videos that content creators are making or the propaganda commanders is so far off from the original game's vision. Helldivers 2 is a cinematic experience. The intro of this video was mostly all gameplay. Seemed like a movie, right? This game was not built on balance. This is not Call of Duty, this is not Battlefield. This is a PvE game. Yes, the developers opened a can of worms with balance changes every patch, and some did not make any sense. But the part of the community that's diving into numbers and values, how did your experience of the game change? For example, the coyote. Yes, the dev said they did not touch it, but it changed from 1 bullet to 2 bullets to set enemies on fire. Did your experience drastically change? Did your fun factor go from a 10 to a 6 because of an extra bullet? The community harped on this while still a player having fun. Into the Unjust was a total disaster from the technical standpoint. Hitbox issues, audio bugs, host issues, we could spend all day. But the atmosphere that was created in the caves, the close quarter battles with the bugs, my strategy and loadout changed. The battle with the Dragon Roach, the first time seeing a Hive Lord raise from the ground with my squad, was an experience that brought emotions out of me and memories with my squad I'll always have.
It's back. Holy fuck. Oh my god. Look at the size of that thing.
At Helldivers' core, that's what the game's about, not number values. I want to reiterate, HD2 is not perfect, and if you twist a dial too far, it can hinder the experience. Now let's talk about monetization, because this is also part of Helldivers 2 experience. All major updates to the game is free. That's a huge boon for HD2. Next, the grind. Has anyone else played Destiny? Also, to pay for every expansion? The Marathon grind? Fortnite grind? Any gacha game grind? I understand it's a different genre, but it falls underneath the games as a service umbrella. HD in its current state has all those games beat, so for the players who play the game currently and do not participate in the major order, bug divers no matter what, still get the medals regardless. So what's the community up in arms about? It doesn't make a difference. HD2 respects players' time by free major updates, earned in-game currency to help purchase war bonds that are totally optional. The recent Warbond EXO experts, HD2 has given players a free mech, FRV, and tank. YouTubers are pushing for a boycott. I understand because they're buffing mechs, but HD1 mechs were purchased with real cash and they offered one free, so it's the exact same thing. I understand if the developers went too far with the numbers making mechs unusable. I was not a mech diver for the longest until recently. I used the breakthrough and I had fun bashing bugs with my shield. Now it's time to land this plane. HD2 was still a fun experience. I tried different builds and I fell in love with the game all over again. This was never built to be a game about meta, nerfs, buffs. HD2 is simple. Drop in, have fun, log out. The community along with the developers have forgotten the fun factor of this game. Arrowhead, if you're watching this with all the community backlash you're facing, in everything you do, always think about the player's experience and fun. Do not change numbers for the players not to feel good or have fun. And players, don't be so hard on yourselves, don't be so hard on the devs. If you made it this far in the video, please like, subscribe, hit the hype button, comment. I want to hear your feedback. HD2 is a passion of mine. More to come. Catch you on the next one. Later.